man with the nerves of steel necessary to climb the cliffs here is Li Lao-san. Today, he's using an ancient method to make a new rope for cliff climbing, because he's about to go on an aerial treasure hunt for the most valuable of all the mountain's hidden riches. Danger isn't the only problem for the orchid hunters. Finding the tiny plants in the wilderness is a skill in itself. Li knows exactly when to go.
每年个5月份差不多，农历5月了不是？因为现在铁皮石斛全部开发了，到山上去找也好找一点。不开发，那你在山上就难看到，看不到。
Li can tilt the odds a little in his favor by choosing the right season to go orchid hunting. But the flower is so rare and the wilderness so dense that Li and his friends expect to walk 50 kilometers a day in their search. And even so, they will often return home empty-handed. In a forest untouched by chainsaws, 2,000 kilometers away in the east of China, Li Lao-san, the last orchid hunter of Jiangxi province, has walked deep into the mountains in search of a rare flower that is highly prized in Chinese medicine. In this dense forest, it's easy to get lost. But the herb gatherers have an ancient trick to find their way out. Their shouting bounces sound waves through the forest canopy and off the nearest cliffs. It's like their very own radar to lead them to the rocky outcrops they are searching for. Getting lost isn't the only hidden danger in this forest. That's a cobra, one of China's most aggressive and venomous snakes. 20 people a year are killed by its bite. But Li and his friends aren't scared. For them, the cobra is more valuable than it is frightening. They can sell every part of it for a good price. The flesh is prized by local chefs. The skin and even its deadly venom can be used in traditional Chinese medicine. However, a cobra doesn't come close in value to the orchids that Li and his friends have come here to find. Finally, they arrive at one of their favorite hunting grounds for the flowers. It takes a certain type of person to be an orchid hunter. As they climb upwards, a spectacular landscape reveals itself. The deep red sandstone cliffs they can see are what's left of 80-million-year-old rock that has been lifted up by tectonic activity and then eroded by rainfall ever since. It's called a Danxia landform, and this is one of the few places on Earth where it's found. The orchid Li is searching for clings on in a part of that landscape called Dragon Tiger Mountain. when they safely reach the summit, Lee can't hang around for too long. They've already spent 6 hours trekking here. And if they don't find the orchids quickly, they'll have to abandon the whole expedition. In the remote mountains of eastern China, Li Lao-san, last of the orchid hunters, thinks he's spotted a clump of precious orchids clinging to a near vertical rock face. A single kilogram of these rare orchids found their way onto the market last year. That makes them extremely valuable, and in the past, thousands of herb gatherers risked their lives swinging on homespun ropes to find orchids. But of those thousands, Li Lao-san is almost the only one left. And he's going over the edge. The number of orchids growing wild has plummeted, and they get more difficult to find each year. The last ones are in truly isolated places, where only the bravest and most agile hunters can find them. Just when it looked like the long journey and dangerous climb could be for nothing, Lee finds a small group of orchids. Happy with his work, Lee hauls himself back up the steep cliff. It's a long walk home, but it's made easier in the knowledge they've plucked 12 orchids from the cliff. They weigh in at a minuscule 4.5 grams. But even that amount is worth almost $1,000 US. It's been a profitable trip out for Lee. But profit isn't the end of the story. Lee has seen all the other orchid hunters retire, and overpicking and pollution almost wipe out the plants themselves. So he made a decision. Not only is Lee the last orchid hunter, he is the first orchid grower.
2010年开始吧，就把这个野生的铁皮石保存起来，种在这一块吧。
He beds half of all the plants he finds into a nursery at home. Only when they are mature does he sell them, and any new seedlings, he returns to the wild.
我们这里也是都是说这个野生的掉了，现在铁皮树很少。现在我们都把它收集起来，全部种这个铁皮石，这个石壁上。